Hello and welcome to your How to Apply session with Toronto Metropolitan University. Please, I think that you are writing right now in the Q&A, so please keep going. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, please let us know. So we will be starting right now. My name is Julian Lopez and I'm Toronto Metropolitan University representative in Mexico. However, I'm here representing also my colleagues at recruitment. So if you have any more questions, at the end I will be sharing all the information for your different regions and countries specifically. So please let us know where you are from. Now, one of our slogans is build your future here. What do we want at TMU is that you see TMU as an option and opportunity for you to create your future academically, professionally, and maybe as a way of life. Now, as I was presenting myself, I will be your host today alongside my colleague Michael. Here's Michael. He will be talking a little bit more about admissions at the end of, well, not at the end, but pretty much closing to the end of the session. So if you have any questions regarding admissions, also please direct that to us and we will be answering those. Now, for the land acknowledgement, I would like to present my colleague Aishem, who is also a recruitment officer for Turkey and also Middle East.
Thank you, Yi. Thanks a lot for handing it over. So I'm just gonna read our land acknowledgement. Toronto is in the dish with one spoon territory. The dish with one spoon is a treaty between the Anishinaabe, Mississaugas, and Haudenosaunee that bound them to share the territory and protect the land. Subsequent indigenous nations and peoples, Europeans, and all newcomers have been invited into this treaty in the spirit of peace, friendship, and respect. Over to you, Yi. Thank you.
No, thank you very much, Aisha. As you may know or maybe not, we changed our name and we have a new chapter that began 2 years ago, and now we are Toronto Metropolitan University. So obviously we would like to share this with all of you, and if you would like to know more about our new chapter, you can find all the information regarding this process and how it all began, how was the process, and obviously how we became Toronto Metropolitan University in our website. Now, for the agenda, this is everything that we will be covering today. I know it's a little bit too much information for you guys, but please bear with us. I know all of this will be really interesting and really important information that you will need to know in order for you to apply with us in the later part of the process. So if you have any questions regarding any of these parts, please be mindful of what we are seeing, but if not, you can just pop them into the Q&A or into the chat and we will be answering those accordingly. Now, what do you need to success? This is a little video about the grid and you will see about it right now.
People will tell you what you need to succeed in this world. A good education, good grades, a good resume, a good start. But those good things won't get you to great unless you have that other thing. That thing you can't find in a classroom or buy at a bookstore or fit in a backpack. That thing that will set you apart, fuel your journey, and make you unstoppable. Great, it's that intangible thing we bring out of you as you acquire the theory and apply it in practice, as you question what you know and answer the call for change, as you bring your vision to life and make your own discoveries. It's one of the most important predictors of your success, and it's what we're made of. We are Toronto Metropolitan University.
So are you guys made of grit? This is some information that you will need to know about TMU, and if maybe you might know it, maybe you don't. So just keep on hands with us. One of the first things is that we are a #1 university-based incubator that has a network worldwide. So if you are interested in that kind of entrepreneurship mindset, definitely we are a good option for you. Also, we are now the number 10 university in Canada for graduate employability. So that's also a really good opportunity because you will be able to create this professional life while you are studying, but also keep doing this at a high academic level. So it's a really good opportunity for you to search or look for jobs within your area during your university, and after you graduate within that same range in other, either maybe research if you're interested within the university, or maybe other things, entrepreneurship, innovation, or maybe the public life if you're interested, or private sectors. So definitely you can keep that up within our departments of career success and co-op. Now, this is also general information that you will find about us. We have over 60 programs, undergraduate programs, for students that can apply for right now. We have 94% of co-op placement rate for students who actively seek positions. This is something really important, because even if we do have this option for you, you need to actively search for those opportunities. You need to apply for those co-ops, you need to apply for those jobs, for those internships. So you have all of that opportunities, and you have like a really good spectrum of what we can offer. So the more you apply, the more opportunities you will have, definitely. But we can also help you and provide you with all the resources that you need in order to succeed. Also, a really good and important number that we are really proud of is our international students. We have a little bit over 40,000 students, international students right now, that are coming from international curriculums. That means that they didn't study in Canada. So you will be able to find a lot of students from different backgrounds, culturally. That will be a really good and interesting match for you to grow also in a personal aspect. And we also have a really great network of students and alumni that are right now in almost everywhere in the world. Also really curious facts about where we are is that we're on the top 10 list of the most beautiful campuses in Canada, even if we're an urban campus. You will be see a little bit later in the presentation where we are, and we are exactly in the middle of Toronto. So that will be also a really good opportunity for you if you're interested in a more cosmopolitan life. If you are like this kind of like fast track life within the city, it will definitely be a really good opportunity for you to explore. Here's a little bit of a video about TMU as an urban campus. Looks like there is no sound, but no worries. This is just an aerial view of what you will be surrounding by if you're studying at TMU with us. And as you can see, the CN Tower is really, really close by to the campus. You can go there walking. I think I'm a slow walker, so I do like 25, 30 minutes. But definitely, if you are a little bit faster than me, you can get there even faster. Now, this is what I was telling you about our urban campus. We have over 14 buildings that do belong to TMU within the downtown of Toronto. So depending on where your faculty is, you will be able to move around campus, or you will stay within one area specifically. For example, our Faculty of Management, which is the Tertiary School of Management, where is it? It's pretty much near Eaton Center, for example, while our engineering faculty is a little bit more near Jarvis Street. I mean, everything is walking distance, but still you are able to move around wherever you might be able to do it. Also, there is another important thing is that as a student, you are able to move in between buildings. However, there are some accesses that won't be necessarily for everybody because you do not belong to that faculty. But at the end of the day, you are able to move around however you like. Now, some facts about Toronto as a city. Obviously, we're a livable city, it's safe, it's a really diverse city in the world. We're saying that there is a lot of nationalities, lots of backgrounds, cultural backgrounds, and also languages that are being spoken at. So you will definitely find someone from your city, from your country, or even someone that you might be good friends with from other places of the world. We're also one of the top 5 cities in the world for creative studies. So definitely if you're interested in this area, you can check our creative school in a little bit. There is also a really interesting fact about more than 80 languages spoken on campus. So you can guess how diverse we are. Now, other things is that obviously as a city, as a big city within Canada, we have a lot of spaces for film music, street festivals, even TMU does some street festivals within the surrounding areas and streets that we have. There's also green spaces that you can walk by a little bit further than downtown, but definitely you can still walk or see other green spaces. There's professional sports team, and I will be talking a little bit about TMU World in a bit, because we do have athletics and recreation teams for you to also participate at a competition level, or maybe just as part of your as a part of your private and personal activities. There's also more than 200 globally inspired cuisines, just as diverse as the city is. Now, what are we focusing at TMU? There is something that we call experiential learning, that it's something that differentiates us from other institutions. It's because we want you to have that academic life, but also have that experience that you can put into work with what you're learning in the classroom. So that's why there's quite a few things that we can work with experiential learnings. Right now, all of our programs are designed with experiential or hands-on learning, meaning that you have this part of that it's not only theoretical, but it's actually going to work outside of the classroom. So we have either cooperative education, which will be the programs, for example, field placements, internships, research projects, case studies, laboratories, simulations. Like, there is a lot of opportunities depending on the programs. And even if it's not within your program, you can definitely try and look for other opportunities in other spaces. I will be talking a little bit about the co-op, which is a cooperative program in Canada. Right now, from the 60 programs that we were talking at the beginning, we have 35 that do offer a co-op program. That means that you are able to join these professional practices that will be paid. Usually it depends on the programs when you will be able to start them, but it's usually after your first year at university. So you will gain this relevant work experience, you can expand your professional network, obviously because you will be paid, it's a full-time job. So you will stop your studies. So instead of 4 years, you will be studying 5 years total in order for you to graduate with this work experience. But something that really changes the chip with the co-op program is that students do have this real experience even before graduation, and some of them do get a job offer after they graduate within the same areas or places where they did their co-op. So that's also a really good opportunity for you to focus on that specific area of your studies. Also, something that and I've been talking a lot, is about entrepreneurship and innovation. Because of where we are located, obviously we would like for students to move into leadership activities, entrepreneurship, to actually innovate in their areas. That's why we have the zone learning. The zones are incubators. You will be seeing them all here. There is a biomedical zone, the clean energy zone, fashion zone, and others. I just don't want to mention everything because we will take a little more time. But one of our biggest zone is DMC, which pretty much launch a lot of startups within every year. So you will be see some facts like like I already say, #1 university-based incubator network in the world. We have more than 300 active startups on campus. There is also money that's being raised within these zones. So you are able to either join one of these zones and one of these projects, or you can propose your own. So that's also a really good opportunity for you. If you have any idea, if you have any project, business, research that may enter in one of these zones, you can definitely put that in. There's also, here it is, a great opportunity. Even if you're an international student, you will be able to keep being global. So that's a really good opportunity with TMU, because you might be able to have a semester exchange. Here are some countries that we have agreements with, and some institutions. So So depending on your program, you will find specific countries and specific institutions. So definitely keep that opportunity open if you find it, because even like I told you, even if you are an international student, keeping that internationalization open is still great. So you have that opportunity within your faculty. Now, we do have rigorous academic success. So we have the 60 programs in 6 faculties: the Faculty of Arts, the Faculty of Community Services, the Faculty of Engineering and Architectural Science, the Faculty of Science, the Territorial School of Management, which is our business school, if you would like to call it that way, and the Creative School. Here you will find all the programs that we have. I mean, if we try to cover them all, we won't have enough time. So just keep this in mind. And as you might see, there is a little mark regarding which programs do have the co-op available. So you will find that most of them have it, which is really great and really good opportunity. And also something to mention is that the Faculty of Arts also has double degree options. So that's a really good opportunity if you're interested in those areas, or if you're interested in one big area and one specific area, we also offer minors. So you will be able to graduate with your bachelor's degree and a minor or a specialty in any other area or within the same area in a more specific studies. Now, how TMU sets you for success? Here's something that we are really proud of, because we are #2 university in studying services in Canada. So we do care about you, and we do expect for you to come with us if you have any issues, problems, either academically or personal. That's why we have 2 types of student support. The first one is the biggest student support that we have, which is called My Service Hub. You are able to join and check peer and career groups, for example, career and academic advising, writing, language support, counseling for your mental health, health insurance, financial assistance, like everything is under the big spectrum. However, you might see that there is one specific that will probably catch more your eye, which is international student support. All of this that you saw that it's general for all university students at TMU, there's one specific for international students. So you will find all the things that I mentioned, plus assistance with your study permits, visas, and more support that you might need immigration-wise. There is also first-year welcome appointments. I think those are the best way for you to start your journey at TMU once you arrive, because you will find the team at International Student Support to actually help you navigate how is to be an international student at TMU. There is also transition support, because we know that it's a really difficult decision to move abroad to study your university at 17, 18 years of age. So definitely to be able to navigate this, might need help. So that's why international student support is. And there's also an emergency bursary that they might be able to help you with in case you need it. Now, what's the campus life about? Obviously, we talk about academics and how well prepared all students are professionally and academically. But now, what's to live in TMU? What's to live in Toronto? So we have over 400 student clubs and organizations where you might be able to join, or maybe, just maybe, if it doesn't exist, you might be able to propose it. But I think somehow there will be a club or organization that you would like to join. Also, we have over 600 extracurricular activities. So if you would like to learn, I don't know, maybe, or you already know French, or you would like to learn, or you would like to practice, there are classes for French. If you would like to know Chinese, there is the same. But if you would like to do sports, then you will be able to do that too. That's why we have athletics and recreation. This is where we talk about TMU Bowl, which is TMU pretty much athletics teams. And you will see teams like basketball, hockey, soccer, volleyball, ice skating, for example, if you're interested in that also. So you might be able to find the sports that fits you right. It could be either a competitive level or just as a recreation, like just hanging out with friends, doing some trials, or maybe just playing because you would like to keep an active life. So we have two fitness centers where you might be able to join these teams, or classes. For example, the class that you are seeing there is a kickboxing one. So if you would like to just know a little bit thing or two about kickboxing, you can join them. Now, there's also a really good question regarding residence life, and yes, we do offer residence for international students and domestic students, and we have over 1,000 beds in 3 different buildings that you might be able to choose depending on the type of room you like. There is like questionnaire that you will be answering. I don't know if you like to be alone, if you like to be more social, if you would like to be placed with same-minded people. So you will be able to see all of these one-shot live. And there is also a meal plan that it's mandatory. So depending on those, you will be able to choose your building. Here's the type of rooms that we have and that we offer right now are single rooms, double rooms, there are pair rooms, and there is apartment type of rooms. So if there is anything that fits your needs, we might be able to have it. But you also need to apply for residence. So obviously the better, the earlier you apply for your academic program, the earlier you'll be receiving your offer and you will be able to apply for residence with us. Now, if you don't want to stay with us, that's completely fine. It's not mandatory for you to stay with us. Obviously, it's recommended at least for your first year. But if not, we have an off-campus housing office that will provide you with all the resources that you need in order to either rent in Toronto or in other areas, or, for example, give you portals and websites that are legitimate for you to rent or to look for apartment roomies or roommates, sorry, in order for you to have all this information up to date and for you to take that decision. So if you are either in campus or outside, you can definitely check the housing alternatives with the off-campus housing team. Now, this is something really, really important that we all need to talk about, and it's the cost to expect to study at TMU. Here are the prices based on this academic year. So the tuition fees, it varies per program. It's around 35,000 to 40-ish thousand Canadian dollars per academic year. Also, you need to take into consideration your books and supplies. Obviously, it's not the same if you're a Faculty of Arts student, for example, versus architectural science student. There, it will be a different in supplies specifically, so you need to take that into consideration. There is also accommodation, like we were talking about, on campus, meaning with us, plus a meal plan, or off campus. This is just an average, an estimate that we've seen according to other of housing teams. So you can also check that out. The meal plan is with us, and obviously personal expenses will vary case by case depending on what you will need or you expect to have during your life at TMU. Now, we do offer scholarships and awards. This is the website that you can find all the information for. And as an international student, you will be able to apply to 2 scholarships or entrance scholarship. The first one is the President Entrance Scholarship, which is 40,000 total value, Canadian dollars. And this scholarship is renewable, meaning that you will be receiving 10,000 Canadian dollars the first year. But for the second, third, and fourth year, you need to maintain your GPA in order to keep this scholarship. So that's why it's an a President Entrance Scholarship and an excellence one. So that's one thing to consider. The second one is International Student Leadership Award. So this one is 5,000 Canadian dollars for the first year only. After you are a student at TMU, you will be able to apply to more scholarships, awards, and also bursaries. So you need to keep looking our portal on a not daily basis, but you need to keep checking that in order to see opportunities for you to apply to other scholarships and awards. Now, for international students that are already in Canada, there is also all their renewable scholarships. So please keep this in mind, and it will be varying depending on your final admission average. So obviously, the better grades you have, the better opportunities you will have to get your scholarships and awards. Now, I will be sharing the mic with my colleague Michael regarding admissions. So if you have more questions until here, please pop them in the Q&A or into the chat and we'll be answering them.
Hello everyone, my name is Michael Kasha and I'm an admissions officer here at TMU. I'll be covering some broad level admissions questions that you might have, including how to apply, some admissions requirements, and how to provide us with a complete application. So applying to TMU, there's a couple things to think about. Please make sure to review the dates and the academic requirements. We encourage all students to apply before February 1st for the September intake, which is February 1st is our equal consideration deadline, where all applications will be reviewed and compared alongside each other, and you'll be looking to apply before mid-October for the January intake. We encourage students to apply online using two applications, the OUAC application and the TMU International application. We'll be going into that in a little detail later on. You'll also need to submit your documents, and we'll speak to exactly how to go about that and what documents are required in order for admissions to make a complete assessment, and checking your application status. Once you apply, you'll be granted access to the Choose TMU portal, which is where you'll receive all your communications, including admissions decisions. Admissions requirements really depend on where you're applying from, which country, and which curriculum you are completing in secondary school. Please take some time to review these requirements, as the link below you'll see provides you with country-specific requirements, and there's also links to prerequisite requirements depending on the program you're looking to apply to. We also have some non-academic requirements which will be included on program-specific admissions pages, which are also offered. If anybody has any questions in regard to specific curriculums and what prerequisites you might need, please feel free to ask in the chat, and we'll be able to answer your questions. The first application is the TMU International application, and this is for students who are applying to TMU from outside of Ontario, Canada. The application allows you to apply to 3 TMU programs, and if you apply before February 1st, 2025, you'll save $50 on the application. It's normally $150, and the cost before February 1st will be $100. If you're a current Ontario secondary school student, it's important to use the OUAC application, which we'll be touching on right here. The OUAC, or Ontario University's Application Center, is the application, as I said, students from within Ontario, Canada should use to apply. If you're also looking to apply to a number of other universities within Ontario, we encourage you to use this application as well. It provides you with 3 application choices from any program within Ontario universities. And if you're a current Ontario secondary school student, you'll be required to use this application as well. The OUAC will receive your grades from your Ontario secondary school electronically and upload those to our system, so you will not be required to provide us with any transcripts electronically yourself. Your guidance counselor will be responsible for this if you're a current Ontario secondary school student. Submitting documents. So after you apply, you'll be granted access to the Choose TMU portal. This is your one-stop shop to complete your application and providing us with your academic transcripts, supplementary form, which is optional. It allows you to provide a little more context in your application, or self-report grades. Non-academic requirements. Some programs here at TMU require portfolios or essays or a number of other components outside of the academic requirements. These requirements are highlighted in detail on the program-specific admissions pages. So if you have any questions about a program or the non-academic requirement, please feel free to ask in the chat. We can provide a little more context there, along with the admissions page, the admissions requirements page, which again highlights some of those non-academic requirements. The portal also allows you to provide supporting documents if you might have those, and providing us with proof of English proficiency. So if you have any questions about what is required in terms of English proficiency, am I exempt, please feel free to ask in the chat. We'll be able to provide a little more context as well. As for transfer credits, here at TMU, we have a new initiative where if you're applying as a transfer student from a post-secondary accredited university or college, we're really trying to provide you with an idea of how many transfer credits you may be eligible for. So this is really exciting. We also, and if you do receive an offer of admission, this will be included within the letter. We also have a number of other transfer credit opportunities you might be eligible for. These are from some of the curriculums you may be familiar with or studying, including advanced placement exams, GCA levels, CAPE, French Baccalaureate, IB, and you'll see within the slide here some of the minimums that are required within those curriculum in order to potentially receive transfer credit. And if you do receive an offer of admission, this will also be highlighted and recognized. One note on transfer credit is if you are applying for September or fall 2025, you will not receive the complete transfer credit assessment until August before you join. Again, this is based on completing some courses, so you may be currently studying and we can't provide you that final total. The transfer credit also depends on the program you're applying for and where these credits fit within that program. If you do have any questions about transfer credit, please feel free to ask in the chat. I will be passing it back to Yi to cover some of the application status portion of
Thank you very much, Michael. Yes, guys, so if you have more questions, please take the time to write those in the chat or in the Q&A. We have Michael, who's an admission officer, so he will definitely help us in order to complete your questions or to answer your questions regarding this process. Now, what happens after you submit all your documents and you submit your your file in general with us? You will need to log in constantly into your Choose TMU applicant portal. Here is the link, because you will be able to receive all information about us in your My Communication section. So even if you will be receiving an alarm, all documents, letters, and in general information will be put into your portal. So you need to check that out constantly. Now, what happens after you're receiving an offer? Well, first of all, congratulations. If you receive an offer from us, that means you are a really good fit for us, and obviously you submit all the necessary documents. So you will be receiving this offer. What you need to check in that offer is really important because you need to read all of it. There are 3 specific points that you need to check. The first one is the deadline to set your offer. You will be able to set your offer in your mytoronto.mu.ca portal, but the first time is you need to check along how many days you have to make a decision. This doesn't mean anything. Like, you can accept your offer and then maybe say, this is not for me, maybe I'm not a good fit. Then that's not a problem, but you do need to accept your offer before a deadline. Then the second point is the deadline to pay your tuition deposit. This is really important because I will be talking a little bit more in depth about it. But in order for us to give you your PAL, your provincial attestation letter, you do need to pay your deposit. So the earlier you pay, the earlier you will be receiving all your documents necessarily in order for you to apply for your study permit. Now, the third one is a deadline to meet your admission conditions. Usually, our offers do have some conditions that you need to clear in order for you to be matriculated into TMU. So you need to read all of those in specifically. Sometimes it's just finishing your high school with a really good standing, finishing a specific courses with a specific grade, maybe submitting your English language requirement or proficiency test because you were a little bit low or you didn't submit it on time, but for us it was not necessarily at that moment for us to assess you. So you need to be really, really aware that everything that is in your conditional letter will be reflected into your matriculation later in the process. If you have more questions regarding these, specifically your offer, you can also contact all the regional recruitment team for you to maybe have a talk or have a meeting so you can go step by step and obviously paragraph per paragraph within your offer. Now, what do you need to apply for your study permit? Once you receive your offer and your offer of admission and letter of acceptance, you need to accept your offer and then pay your tuition deposit in order for us to provide you with a provincial attestation letter or PAL. After you receive this PAL, you can also contact the International Student Support Team in order for answering questions regarding your application, your process, or everything that will be related to this. Or if you would like to go through an authorized person or agent that will give you that follow-up, then you're completely free to do it. But please be mindful that we do offer this service as part of TMU International Student Support. Now, what are the English language requirements? Well, maybe if there are some conditions that you won't need to actually submit an English proficiency test. The first one, obviously, if you study in Canada, or if you're studying in another country where English is the first language, or a school where English was the primary language of instruction. Here, something to mention is that it needs to be done like your whole education for at least 4 years has to be done in English. Even if you have like some courses in other languages, if they are bilingual schools, then that's really great. However, they need to be done in English, fully in English. So just keep that in mind. If you have questions, again, please contact us. We will be really happy to help you in answering those. Now, there's also other conditions. Here is one of them, especially if you complete a successful 2 or 3 year diploma in a college in Canada, then that also you don't need to submit an English proficiency test. Or if you study in another country where English was the first language. Here are some other qualifications that might get you exempt or help you for the English language test of proficiency. If you took AP levels, for example, if you took the Caribbean Examination Council English courses, there's also for GCSE and also from IB. So if you took these courses, then we might be able to assess your courses, and then you will be exempt of the English language proficiency test. These are the ones that we accept. We accept from Canadian Academic English Language Assessment, the Cambridge Assessment English, the Duolingo test, IELTS, which is the academic version. So you also need to check this. It's academic. The second to last one is the Pearson test of English, and TOEFL. Also, we accept a special accommodation. So please be mindful that for IELTS and TOEFL, it's IBT for TOEFL and IELTS academic. these are the scores that you need. And if you do not have these grades in the English proficiency test, we do offer an English language program. Depending on your scores, we have some options for you, from the ESL Foundation program, which is 2 terms or 1 academic year. We also have the Pre-English Boost and English Boost, which pretty much is intensive English before you start your program. And we also offer the ESL Foundation program, which is, with 1 term, which is just 1 semester, or the English Boost alone, which is 8 weeks. Again, the foundation program, the ESL is a little bit more, how can I say it, a little bit more quiet, a little bit more going on your own pace, while the English Boost is just intensive English for 8 weeks. So you have those options available. If you are interested in applying through to our ELI programs, you will be able to find all the information in their website. Here it is. And also you can contact our colleague Joy Kim, who will be pretty much happy to help answering all your questions regarding applications through our language pathways or the English Boost program. So please keep that in mind. Now we're getting at the end of our presentation, so just some information. We would like for you to stay connected with us. So if you're interested in knowing more about TMU from a student perspective, you can chat with our international students. Maybe you will find someone from the career or the program that you are looking for, but if not, maybe it could be from your same country or just someone that might vibe with you and you can just ask him, her, they, their questions. I don't know, like how's living in TMU, or are you at the residence, or are you renting? You know a little bit more about those questions that you might be interested in having an answer for. Or you can also check our virtual events and tours like this one, or something really, really important, to meet your international recruitment officer. If you have questions, if you have any concern, if you would like to just have a talk about your future, maybe we are here for you. So you can definitely contact us through international@torontomu.ca or visit this page where you will be able to schedule some meetings with us. Now, we also have another event that we are really excited for, which is Explore TMU, but this time meet your faculty. So in this event, you will be able to talk with representatives from each of our 6 faculties and the English Language Institute if you are also interested in that. So please just check out either our webpage or directly this QR code. Also, if you would like to receive more information and newsletters, you can do so in this QR code and signing up for our updates. You will be able to receive all the information about TMU, about admissions, pretty much anything that might be of interest and that we are also proud to share sometimes. So here's my email, especially if you're a student from Mexico, but if not, you can also definitely just send me an email and say, hey, I'm from Ghana, I'm from Nigeria, I'm from China, and I would like to connect with my representative, and I will be really happy to do that connection for you. So now we will be open the space for more questions and more comments if you have them. So I will be stop recording in order for you to feel free to just raise your hand if you would like to talk, or if you would like to, I don't know, maybe send the questions in a one-on-one person. So thank you very much for coming and staying here with us. And yeah, so let's start with the questions. Let me see. Oh, actually, can you help me with stopping the recorder, please?
Recording stopped.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so let me see which are not being answered right now. Okay, so there is a question regarding our School of Medicine. Right now, the School of Medicine it's not open for international students. So if you're interested in that, I will share the link to our website. However, yeah, it's not open right now for international students. So sorry about that, but you will find that information all across Canada. So if you would like to know a little bit more about this, maybe we can talk a little bit more, or you can direct your questions to your regional representative. Now, there's one from an anonymous attendee that says, are all those who have applied to join the meeting or only a select few whose document has been shown? Could you please elaborate a little bit more on your question? But pretty much anyone that would like to apply to TMU needs to submit their documents in order for us to accept them and possibly give them an offer. So it doesn't necessarily need someone that attends the meeting, but someone that is interested in doing so. There is another one that says, in the same perspective, do you give full scholarships for refugees and disadvantaged youths who can afford university fees? Unfortunately, we do not offer right now full scholarships. We do have really good opportunities and bursaries. However, it's not really enough to cover all your tuition fees and also your living expenses. So you need to take those into consideration. Let me share our awards and scholarship information. Oh, thank you, Aisha. So you will be able to find more about it there. There's another question also regarding scholarships and funding, and it says, does Canada have a government student funding for tuition fees? They do have a program called Edu Canada. However, you need to check constantly in order to see if there is more opportunities, scholarships, or fundings there. So that would be pretty much all the information that we can give because that's the government type of funding. Now, there's specific ones regarding, for example, some programs like what are mission requirements for aerospace engineering. Well, usually for engineering, thank you, Michael. I saw you a little bit. But for engineering, usually students in general will need to have courses from mathematics, chemistry, also physics, and obviously English. So that's pretty much like the general courses that you need, but the better grades that you have will definitely give you a better opportunity to apply to any of our engineering programs. Now, there is one question, Michael, I don't know if you would like to answer live, which says, how long does it take for one to be accepted after submitting all the documents?
Yeah, for sure. So, depending on the program you applied to and some of the assessment frameworks within that, you should receive an admissions decision between 1 to 2 weeks, or for some programs that have non-academic requirements, you might receive an admissions decision after February or March. And this is because for programs where there are non-academic requirements, we wait for all students to apply, and then in conjunction with departments and faculties, we review the non-academic requirements along with the academic requirements, your secondary school or post-secondary transcripts, and come up with a holistic admissions assessment. So again, all depending on whether you've provided us with a complete application The other piece on a complete application, and for a lot of students who are in their final year of secondary school study, you might not have all the grades that are needed to make an admissions decision. For some programs in schools, they provide predicted grades, and for others, you might not get grades until the spring, so it could take a little more time, and it's all dependent on where you're at along your current studies. But generally, if you provide us with what we need to make an admissions decision, 1 to 2 weeks is the general time frame.
Great, thank you very much, Michael, for that information. Let me answer one. It says that I can apply even if I'm being from Venezuela. Like I said, we encourage all students from many parts of the world to apply. You just have to be mindful that you do need to submit your documents, your transcripts, which means that if they are not in English, you need to get a certificate copy of the translation from your grades broken down into courses in order for us to do the assessment. So just be mindful of that, and I again highly encourage you to contact your direct regional advisor for you to know more specific information about your application depending on where you are in the world. Now there is another one that says, what is the difference between a major and a minor, and how many minors can you do? Michael, I don't know if you would like to answer this one or.
Yeah, for sure. So
Thank
the
you.
difference between a major and a minor is basically the main scope of your study or the program of focus. And if you for your major, you'll be taking more required courses that go towards that, and the minor would require a little less in terms of required courses and study in order to achieve that. We have a number of programs at TMU that offer flexibility in majors and minors, and depending on your program. A lot of it's dependent on course offerings as well. So within a certain degree, if there are a number of required courses that you need to complete in order to achieve that major, the minor that you might be looking to also study may not fit. So it's very dependent on the program and major that you're completing. But again, there's a lot of flexibility here at TMU that and a lot of offerings. So if you have any specific questions on majors and minors and combination of which and that you're looking to study, please feel free to ask in the chat.
Thank you very much. There's another question regarding in terms of scholarships, can they consider my SAT score instead of my high school marks? As far as I know, no. I mean, the SAT scores do help you with your application, your academic application. However, awards usually see the overall grade of your high school marks in order for you to apply for scholarships. In the case of the entrance, the President Entrance Scholarship is 9.0, or its equivalent in other systems, while the ISLA scholarship is 8.5. So you do need to have a good academic standing by courses in order for you to be eligible for those that scholarships. Now, there's also a general question regarding what's the next step after applying. Well, Valentine, the first one is to wait after you applied, and we, like Michael said, we have some estimated time for you to receive a possible answer from us. It could be either your offer, or if there is a denial from our side, you can always ask for a revision. So you will have to do that on time, in a timely manner, for you to have faster answer from us. So yes, just keep checking your My Communications portal, section in your portal every 2-3 days for you to check what's pretty much next. After you receive your offer, you will be receiving an email directly from any of your regional advisor, so you can also connect and schedule a meeting for even more specific next steps within the process. Where we have more? Well, there is another one. How long do I wait to receive your offer? My offer. Mike already answered that, so thank you. Oh, here's a really good question, Michael. Maybe it's a little bit more general also. But how many or how's the percentage acceptance rate for transfer students? And do we or we meaning TMU evaluate international students separately with local students? Thank you.
So, if you are a transfer student, TMU admissions uses a holistic assessment in order to determine whether you meet the competitive or minimum requirements. First, you will need to be meeting the competitive and prerequisite requirements at the secondary school level, and then from there, we would assess your post-secondary studies, and yes, it is assessed across all applicants, including international and domestic. TMU issues offers on a rolling basis to the most competitive students, and as I mentioned earlier, the equal consideration deadline is February 1st. So everybody who applies before February 1st will be considered together. And again, that's all domestic and international students.
Great, thank you. There's another question regarding requirements for some specific programs. Engineering, again, you don't need English, you don't need math, functions, calculus, physics, and chemistry. So you can also always check all the specific courses that you need in our undergraduate section. Just click on your program, and then you will be able to see what do you need exactly in order to apply. Also, if there are non-academic requirements like portfolios, they will give you a guide regarding what do you need to submit in order for you to be assessed. So yes, check that out in our website, or again, if you have more questions, directly ask us, or depending, in this case for Nigeria, is our colleague Rosemary, so you can just schedule a meeting with her. Now, this is specific requirements for scholarships. Yes, there are specific requirements for you to apply for scholarships. You don't need to have an offer yet in order to apply. So once you already have your student ID, then you will be able to see all the requirements for scholarships. But besides your academic standing, which is 9.0 upwards for the president entrance scholarships, you do need 2 recommendation letters. One that will talk about you as a student, and the other one that will talk to you more about as a person, as a leader, as someone that does something extra outside of school. So that's something that you need to keep in mind. Also, a list of all extracurricular activities that you've done in your high school, and maybe just an intentional letter where you will be explaining a little bit of one of these projects that you did outside of your school, or something that you are planning on doing while you're studying at TMU. So it's something really important that you need to check and prepare. Also, there are other scholarships that you might just need, I don't know, maybe just an essay or just your grades, or there is different type of requirements, but the president entrance scholarship has those requirements that I just mentioned. Now, this one was already answered live. Now, there is another one, again, besides academic requirements, there's other items. It depends on the program. For example, if you are interested in applying some of our Faculty of Arts program, you might not need anything else. However, if you're interested in applying into architectural science, film, photography, you need a portfolio in order to apply. For example, for dance, acting, you need an audition. So yeah, you just need to check the specific non-academic requirements in our website for you to know what will be assessed. Also, for example, creative industries requires an optional personal statement, so you might want to add that to your application too if you are interested in that specific program, but it depends. Now, does TMU accept unofficial post-secondary education academic transcripts from international applicants? The answer is yes, but like as we were mentioning, they need to be I don't know if the term will be correct in English, but they need to be legal transcripts and they need to be certified in order for us to accept those. So if they are not in English or they are not coming from your home institution, your home high school, then you do need to transcript and certify those transcripts in order for us to assess your application. Which other have? Okay, Michael, you're answering that, so that's good, thank you. This is another one. When a program states that it is a grades only, does that mean no personal statement is needed for you to apply? Yes, correct. If it says grades only, then that means that we will be doing your assessment with only your transcripts. So that's it. If it says grades plus, maybe then you will need that extra thing that it's required by that program, so like the ones that I mentioned before. I would like to start in September. When do I start applying? The applications are open, so you are able to apply right now. However, we do have a winter break starting next week, pretty much on the 20th. So you will be able to start your application and create your account, submitting your documents and everything. However, because we will be closed, we won't be answering you until the beginning of January, middle of January. So please do not worry about that. It's just that it's a winter break. But yeah, feel free to apply with us as of now. And the deadline, there's no deadline per se. We have our on rolling basis. So you can apply if the program is open. However, as Michael was saying, there is a consideration deadline. So that's February 1st, if you would like to keep that deadline in mind. So now there is one question. In general, are tuitions for domestic student and international students same for programs? No, the answer is no. It even varies per program for domestic students and also for international students. So you can check that out in each program's website. Now, when will the scholarships portfolio for international students be open? I think it will probably, they are open as of now. Let me just quickly go to check our website. But yeah, it's open. It was open, they were open on November 1st. So you are able to apply now for fall 2025 international scholarships. Now, I think we're pretty much going on that. If you have more questions, please feel free to pop them in the chat. We're just saying, well, we're a little bit over the hour, but if you have more questions, please maybe 2-3 more minutes to put them in the Q&A section or in the chat. Valentine, how can I apply for international scholarships? You need to, obviously, once you receive your student ID, you will be able to apply through our award screening portal. So I will just pop here the link. Here is the link. So you will be able to submit your documents. Let's see. I'm typing in the award so you can check that. that will be the portal for you to apply directly to the scholarships. Now, thank you for hosting this. No, thank you for attending. So, like I said, if you have more questions, just pop them in. And hope you also have a great day and a great afternoon and a great weekend also. Let's see. What counts as an international student scholarship? I have a Canadian passport, but I'm not currently in Canada. Actually, our scholarships, besides for the Isla one, does not require necessarily for you. There is no separation between international students and domestic students. It's more applicant students that are interested in TMU. So there is pretty much nothing that will be different from that. If you have a Canadian passport but you are studying outside of Canada, you are still part of an international curriculum. So you will be eligible for the ILA or ISLA scholarship, depending on how you say it. I'm from Mexico, so I would definitely say ISLA. But depending on that, you will be able to apply to those scholarships. The only thing is that you won't be able to apply for the student visa, the student visa renewable scholarships because one, you're Canadian, and the second one, you are not in Canada. Now, if usually says mid 80s, it is 80s to 85. Yes, but it depends also on the program. There are some programs that do require mid 80s, 85, 86, 87, rather than the lower score. But obviously, the better grades that you have, the better opportunities you will have to join your desirable program with us. What is the deadline for applying for residence on campus? The deadline usually is around in May, a little bit before May. It depends, it changes sometimes. But the first round of offers goes in June. So you do need to apply early in order for you to be eligible for the first round of offers in June. That's why we also say that you have your option A, which probably will be a resident, option B, which will be other international residents or student residents, and maybe a C plan regarding rents, for example. So just check that out and be mindful of times and deadlines, specifically because we tell you a little later in the cycle, so you might get a little bit worried. No. Yes, there's a question regarding saying that obviously if they receive an offer from any other part of the world, they need to come to Canada. Yes, the answer is yes. Our courses and our programs are done in person as full-time students within Canada. So you do need to travel from your host country or the country you're studying your high school to Canada. And that's why you need to also make those costs to expect to see how much it will be for your plane tickets, for your, I don't know, if you are staying in residence, if you are arriving 1 week before where you will be staying, if it's in a hotel, an Airbnb, all of these type of places, then you also need to consider those. So what else we have here? How much time it will need to start my public health lessons in Canada after applying? Sorry, I didn't understand that question. I don't know, Michael, if you understood that, or maybe Sarah, can you help us elaborating on that? Yes, please just help us elaborate on that question. And there's another that says that what are the requirements for an undergraduate degree in fine arts? It depends on which program you're interested in, but usually there's non-academic requirements in some of our Bachelor of Fine Arts programs. So if you're interested in film, for example, you are required to submit a portfolio, or in photography. If you're interested in acting, dancing, then you need to do an audition. Obviously, said if you're outside of Canada, send some videos and then either come in person or do a second round of auditions via Zoom or any other platform. There's other programs that might not request that, even if they're in fine arts, so just check that out. So I think we're pretty much left with 2 questions, but they are answering. Oh yes, there is another one. I think this one's a little bit more for you, Michael, like what is the acceptance rate?
Yeah, so TMU doesn't generally track an acceptance rate. We have a limited number of spots within a program depending on the program size, and students who are the most competitive and qualified will receive offers of admission to those programs. So generally it's dependent on which program and again, how much space is within that, but we don't have an overall acceptance rate to say how many students out of the entire class are eventually accepted. But again, we issue offers on a rolling basis to the most competitive applicants.
Thank you very much. Oh yeah, how long is the duration of your degree? It depends. All our programs are 4 years, but if you do the co-op placement, then instead of 4, you're doing 5 years. There's 2 programs that have the co-op placement mandatory, which is geographical analysis and chemical engineering. So for those 2 programs, then you are doing a 5-year degree. For the others, is 4 with some options to 5. Then if this says if we get our acceptance letter and apply for a study permit, and will we be able to get the travel fee covered by that study permit? And the answer is no. Those fees are done by you. Like you need to also add that to your expecting cost. So yeah, that would be it. Let me talk a little bit. Yes, I'm seeing that. There's a question says that there seems a lot of people interested in the aerospace engineering program that we offer at TMU. So I will just share a little bit more about the program. So give me just one moment. And I will also share an example of how our webpage is done, so you can also review other programs. So this is what you will see when you enter our webpage. It says undergraduate. So let me see. Yes, I'm sharing this. And you will be able to see all our programs. They are in order. In this case, aerospace engineering obviously is one of the first 2. You will be able to see all the information, general information. What are the requirements? Grades only, what we were talking. You just need your transcripts in order for us to do an assessment. What's the grade range? Mid-80s, for example. That's what we were talking. Mid-80s low, mid-80s up. Usually engineering, they are competitive programs, so you need to have better grades. Now, there's experiential learning. Yes, we have the co-op available in this where we were talking full-time formats. 4 years, which will be your normal degree, or 5 years with the co-op. In this case, aerospace engineering has the option. However, chemical engineering, it's mandatory for you to have the co-op, so it's 5 years total. Now you will find some information regarding is this degree for you. You will be able to read all of these. Then the accreditations that we have for this specific program, the streams, that you might be able to study that would be aircraft, spacecraft, avionics, for example. And there's some other things like optional specializations or accelerated pathways, meaning that you will be able to move forward for a postgraduate degree. In this case, a master's. There's other things, further education, where we're talking career possibilities, employer possibilities, where we know our students are studying. And here's the really good information that were some questions. What do I need? What academic requirements do I need? In this case, we need English, we need advanced functional and calculus and vectors. We also need physics and chemistry. And then we have the tuition and fees. Here we'll be seeing this information also in this area. For international students, our fees for this program are 40,000, a little bit over 40,000 Canadian dollars. And you are also able to see the courses that you will take, your first, second semester, more program courses here, and also the faculty, to know a little bit more about the faculty and which other programs that we have. Then you have student spotlight, and obviously if you would like to know more about TMU, will be shared here. This is what you will be seeing for all of our programs, but this one is specifically for aerospace engineering, for all the people that were a little bit more interested in that program than others. So hope that helps. There is other two questions that might be a good fit for you, Michael. The first one is, what counts as a competitive applicant? And the second one is GPA of 3.8, more or less what type of students will get you there?
Yeah, so to answer the first question that Nicole's asking, what counts as a competitive applicant? Generally, that is a student who meets the prerequisite requirements and the competitive average requirements. To get into detail on the competitive average requirements, it kind of varies depending on the curriculum you're completing. If you go on the program's admissions page, the program that you're interested in applying to, there is a rough estimate or grade range on what qualifies as a competitive applicant for that specific program, but it's using the Ontario Secondary School Scale. So within admissions, we receive a number of applications from a number of curricula around the world, and we convert what the grade point average or overall average you have at the moment against the Ontario Secondary School average. So if you have a specific question on a curriculum, what is a competitive grade range within that curriculum, please feel free to ask and I can provide a little more detail. But again, it varies based on the curriculum you're completing, and again, it's weighed against the Ontario Secondary School average. To go on to the next question, if a GPA is a 3.0, what percentage do we convert? TMU will use the scale provided by your secondary or post-secondary school. So a 3.8 could vary depending on the scale. We know a lot of institutions use the 4-point scale. So yeah, we would use the scale provided by the school or institution and weigh that against the rest of the applicant pool. So again, it does vary, and we do convert to the Ontario Secondary School weightings as well. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yes, they say that it's usually a 3.8 or 4. So yeah, thank you for that, Michael. And yes, like you said, it's a more of a holistic approach, and we do revise every case by case. So please just feel free to submit your documents and your transcripts accordingly to your country specifications. So don't have to worry about that. We already shared some of our colleagues' contact, but please feel free to reach out anytime. So we will be opening, we'll be still open for a minute or two because we are a little bit over the time that we were expecting. So thank you very much Michael, Aisha, and Valerie for being here, answering all those questions with students, and also to you as students for being here. Hopefully we'll be able to see you soon. But yeah, type those questions in the last 2 minutes in order for us to answer. If not, you can always contact us at international@torontomu.ca or by region to a specific recruitment advisors.
Yes, I have put the information how to book an appointment with us in the chat. Depending on your region, you'll see the contact information and you can book an appointment with one of us, with one of the international recruitment representatives if you have more questions, and we'll be happy to answer them. We'll be on a break from December 20th until January 6th. So we might not be available for an appointment during that time, but before that and after that, we'll be available for meetings and questions.
Thank you, Aisha. There's just one, I'm going to answer this one last question. So it says, a domestic student with an international education background will pay the Ontario student fee or an international student fee. Well, your question is a little bit ambiguous, but I will just make some scenarios. In the case that you are a Canadian citizen and you studied in another country, you will be first assessed as an international student because of the curriculum you study. Then you will be able to do that change from international to domestic student, but you won't be paying the Ontario student fee. You will be paying the outside of Ontario student fee once you do the change. But this is more a manual process that you will need to make sure to do, because if not, you will be paying international fees, just to keep that in the record. And then there is another, maybe a scenario, is that you are a Canadian student that study in another province, then you will be paying your outside of Ontario student fee. So hope that answers and clears your doubt. And there's another question regarding what do you need to apply for the public health program. Let me check that out, because if I knew exactly what all of our programs need, I would be a genius, and I'm not, unfortunately, right now. So let me just go right.
Sargunda, I have put all the admission requirements in the answers with the link.
Thank you
If you go to the answer with the link of the requirements for the public health program, you'll see what prerequisite subjects we need for the public health. And on the same page, when you scroll up, you'll see the average GPA over 100. So you need to have all these courses in your high school transcripts, and you have to have that GPA in order to be eligible for the public health program.
Yes, what I'm seeing right now, and just as a question, because I found it, you need to have English and also chemistry or biology, one of those two. So if you meet those conditions, then you are pretty much good to go for your academic transcript. So if you have any more questions, please reach out to us. We'll be happy to answer and help you in this process, which we know it's not easy, and it's definitely a big decision to say, I'm going to study abroad and it's going to stay in Canada, and we hope that TMU is an option for you. So hope to see you in Toronto next year, and I will be closing this space in 2 minutes. So if you have any more questions, just pop them in, but by 12, well, sorry, by what time is it right now? Like 11:30. I will be closing the space. So thank you very much for being here. And yeah, we're pretty much done. Thank you very much, Michael, Larry, Aisha. Very great. So just one more minute, and I've seen that some are logging out. So thank you very much again, and see you in Toronto.